The North Florida Sports Network.
All right. Welcome in and welcome back to the North Florida Sports Network. It's time to look ahead to the big one, the big game, the Super Bowl. It's a rematch of Super Bowl 54 and Super Bowl 58. It's a rematch in the Super Bowl and on the election.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy how it works out.
Same uniform. Same uniform combo too.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Hey, the Chiefs don't have gold.
Oh, all right. Well, it's the Chiefs. It's the Niners. We're here to talk about it. I got our Miami contributor, our regular season pick champion, Justin, with us. And I also,
I must have got some karma on the regular season champ because my God, did I suck ass in the playoff pick?
Yeah, I know. That's why I made sure I said regular season. No, it's a new game. And we got Jimmy Reno.
Yeah.
But his Niners made it to the Super Bowl.
Whew, man.
I mean, it was not the usual way you would think they did it. They did it by coming back.
Yeah, something that Shanahan's never really been the beneficiary of.
It's in Vegas. The spread opened with the 49ers favored. They remain 2-point favorite. I guess if you look at the rosters, that's where that's coming from. What's your thought on that, Justin?
Well, I've learned my lesson because basically since Christmas, I've been picking against the Chiefs. And if I'm making the spread right now, granted, I'm probably biased because of my idiot picks, but I don't see how you could have anybody favored over Pat Mahomes at this point.
I was leaning that way, and then with the combination of him having his receiver and Kelsey or tight end, and then the way that defense has been playing to complement that team, but if you look at the roster and how the whole teams match up, San Francisco, I think some would argue has the better overall roster here. But
I would 100% agree, man. McCaffrey over Pacheco, Debo over Rice.
Yeah,
I mean the only spot they got the Chiefs got them beat really is at quarterback and tight end.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Kittle's not bad.
Yeah, Purdy's damn good too, but he's not Pat Mahomes, and Kittle ain't Kelsey.
Well, he has more weapons. Purdy does. Will he buckle under the pressure to get him to get the ball to those weapons? I think Mahomes, you've seen him kind of get into this dink and dunk, buy into what they're doing. They've been running the ball more. You don't see it's a different type of Chiefs offense. It has been. And it's only gotten morphed into even more screens and stuff.
Well, they've kind of had to just come along slowly.
Right.
They're two opposite offenses. Got a lot of firepower at skill positions for San Francisco. And then a quarterback his numbers are great, but he also at times kind of reminds you of dude, this is kind of like a Greg McElroy looking guy on a really good team.
Oh, he reminds you that he was the last pick of the draft?
Yeah. Okay, so clearly
the second year?
Yeah. And then you got Kansas City's offense, who's one of the greatest quarterbacks of the history of the game, with
the all-time combination
just some jags at skill guys minus Travis Kelsey. I mean, I like Pacheco, the little
Kelsey's
angry Russian guy. Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer, first
all
ballot.
time.
I mean, he just broke one of Jerry Rice's playoff records.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Yeah, a tight end breaking a Jerry Rice record is hard to believe.
It's insane. And he's not a guy that's been in the league for 15 years. I mean, he's not young. I'm not going to say young, but he's not an ancient vet. I mean, that guy's first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that combination, him and Mahomes has only grown, and that's why it's hard to pick against him,
right?
Because that pretty much that first touchdown you saw in the Baltimore Kansas City game What defense could you do there? You know, that was perfectly defended. How are you going to stop that? But San Francisco, they're going to try to run the ball. That's the way to stop Kansas City, is to run it on them. And they have the perfect running back to do that, and Christian McCaffrey. They line up in a lot of fullback. They use the fullback.
Juice.
Oh, Juice.
Cal Juice check.
Yeah, use check, not the juice.
No, man.
Wrong name.
That'd
Man. That's the wrong.
That's
you
the
don't want
juice.
that reference, man. Maybe on the field.
I think OJ did actually play at the end of his career, one
he did.
season in San Fran.
He did.
For the Niners. Man, but Kansas City's got the best defensive player in football.
You think that
On the defensive line. Yeah, I think Chris Jones is the best.
So, all right. So I was at Justin. If you're in a playground and they have both rosters here, so it's not like you don't know anything about football. I'm not going to do that. But you're obviously, are you going to take Pat Mahomes first? But who would be your second pick?
My second pick would be McCaffrey.
Would it be McCaffrey? Okay.
Absolutely, dude. McCaffrey is unbelievable, dude. I don't know why he doesn't get as much money as he should.
Yeah, well, I was going to say he's the center of the piece. You know, there's a reason why San Francisco gave up so much to get him, because they were like, hey, man, we don't know what we're doing with these draft picks anyway.
Yeah.
And we know this guy can play. I will give him credit that way. They cut the bait and they say that, hey, man, we didn't get it right. Boom, move on. And they have a lot of organizations fall like pride, or they want to give a guy, more chances.
Yeah.
But, they didn't. They were like, hey, man, this guy's not good.
He was trying to do what his dad did at Denver, and just have anybody as the running back, just guys that were, just had one plus trait, like
right.
Mostert or Jeff Wilson.
Yeah, he's a diamond in the rough in this stage too, with the running back just being almost like a.
Problem is he doesn't have John Elway at quarterback, so you got to have a game breaker.
But
man.
they have
McCaffrey
other than tight end, where they're right there close to that. They have better receivers. They have the better running back. So it's just can the quarterback play well enough? I would argue that Kansas City's defense is right up there with San Francisco's. If not better.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, definitely agree.
What kind of game you predicting here score wise? I don't want to get to your final score yet, but do you think it's going to be like a shootout here, or do you think it's going to be sluggish kind of game?
I hammer the under. The under's at 47.5, dude. I take the under all day long. Neither one of these teams has scored 30 yet in the playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. And both teams, when push comes to shove, the defense figures it out. And I don't see the offenses. San Francisco has some more explosiveness on their side offensively, but they also have a negative aspect of that too, where it could fire back with the inexperience at quarterback.
Right. And he's shown you that he can have games
do both,
where he just torpedoes.
Well, he also came back.
Yeah.
And he made plays in that Detroit game that weren't on. They were off script. They were because of him.
The Detroit game was less about him than the defense.
Right.
The Green Bay game was the one he just got lucky.
Yeah.
And you do that in the Super Bowl and against Kansas City's defense, you're not going to survive. So
under.
I agree with that though. I agree with it being low scoring, hammering the under.
So do I. All right.
I think they're going to kind of keep the reins on Brock Purdy for a little bit.
Right. And you've seen Pat Mahomes they're not taking chances.
Well, that's what Steve Wilkes is going to do, is just play zone and let him move the ball in between the 20s all he wants. They're going to get whatever they want. I expect Kelsey to have like 16 catches at least. He's just going to be open right there. He's schooling Fred Warner all day, but keeping him out of the end zone.
Right.
So,
okay.
I think he gets 13 catches.
13.
If you get my reference.
I like it. Kelsey with 13 catches. I think that's nice. I think he will get that. I mean, how are you going to stop? That's going to be one of the, main things to watch. You know, what's the answer going to be? How are they going to defend Kansas City? Because I still think you have to stop the run. I mean, Baltimore shut them out in the second half. I mean, it looked like how's San Francisco going to come out?
Baltimore's got a better secondary.
Handle the initial threat by Kansas City because they can come out. They're going to have something ready.
Yeah.
And you've seen San Francisco get down. So you expect Kansas City to get a lead.
Drive. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you saw what they did against Baltimore, I expect that again against San Francisco.
And they just hold on with Pat Mahomes. Like, don't turn it over. Take what you can get. And it's hard to get to him. It's hard to get him down. And it's hard. He's so elusive. It's hard to sack him, man.
San Francisco's had problems.
He does not get sacked
all year with the front four. They've underperformed getting to the quarterback. But
he doesn't turn the ball over in the playoffs, and he doesn't get sacked in the playoffs. And that's his best trait.
Right. So
I think what's going to be really telling in this game is going to be second half adjustments because what is Purdy going to do against that Spagnuolo defense in the second half?
Right.
That Spagnuolo defense in the second half is something else, man.
And I tell you what, where it's going to come from, it's so unpredictable.
That might be the biggest mismatch.
He blitzes from everywhere.
In the entire game is Spags against Brock Purdy.
He's going to get, if he gets one of those mistakes, he only needs one.
Yeah.
You know, they blitz a lot from the corners. A lot. Kansas City does.
Drew Tranquil coming in, knocking the ball loose or hanging back. That's a guy that scares me in that defense is somebody that's really underrated, but he's always there with the timely play, especially in the second half of games. That's the adjustments are going to be huge.
Yep. Well, what do you think? So did I ask you over under 90 yards for Christian McCaffrey? What do you think, Justin?
I'm going to say over.
I like that. It's Super Bowl, man.
Yeah.
You got to feed him.
Yeah.
You got to feed him to set up your big play with Debo and Ayuk. So McCaffrey, I got to think McCaffrey's going to get 20 carries and probably close to 100 or so yards. It's just a matter of when in the game he gets those yards.
Yeah. Okay. Brock Purdy, 1.5 touchdown passes, Jimmy.
1.5. I'm going to go under, man. I think that I don't know. I think the running game is going to have to be what gets it done, and not necessarily just with McCaffrey. I mean, you also think about Debo
and Brock,
and even Brock.
Yeah, he's got some wheels.
Yeah,
he was.
But I think I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I don't think he's going to be. Let's put it this way, man. I don't think that San Francisco is going to blow him out. So if he's throwing the ball a bunch, it's probably a bad sign, and bad things are going to happen. So I'm going under on that.
Who will have more passing yards, Mahomes or Purdy?
Mahomes.
Yeah, I'd agree. Yeah, definitely.
I don't know. I think I'm going to go Purdy here. Like you said, you get behind,
right,
and you have to throw.
Yeah, but that's when Spags lets the dogs loose on that blitz, dude.
Right.
You do not want Purdy.
You don't get the yards for interceptions. Like,
yeah, if Purdy throws 35 times a game, I say he's under 200 yards total if he throws it 35 times and he's back 5 to 7 times if that's the case.
Right. Well,
dude, need him going maybe like 9 of 15 for 140 yards, touchdown on the ground, touchdown through the air, no turnovers, but the run game being able to dominate. I think that's
so. You're hammering the under here.
Yeah.
Okay, so
got to make it ugly. Got to make it low scoring.
Points. Which half? There are more points in the half. First half or second half?
Oof.
I got to go first half the way Kansas City's played, really since Christmas. They dominate the first half and then just hang on in the second. So I would say that you got more points gonna go down in the first half.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well,
and that's like both teams' defenses adjust at halftime.
Yep.
I think that's going to be I think there'll be a lockdown in the second half. So it's going to be really, really important to not trip over your dicks if you're San Francisco.
Well, okay, so Brock Purdy over under 240 passing yards.
Under.
I'm going over.
You going over?
Yeah.
Well, all right.
I might be. But that's not necessarily who I'm picking. But okay. Any more tip? What do you got? What do you think? What are you looking forward to the halftime show, Usher?
Me personally, no, not at all. I'm gonna be listening to some T-Pain.
Oh,
That's my guy, and then
I'm actually excited about the Usher halftime, man. Usher was my jam in like 10th, 11th grade.
yeah, it'll be all right.
Come on now.
Yeah. It'll be a long halftime though, as far as the good, how it affects the game. Again, it's hard to believe you got a guy making $800,000 at quarterback,
right,
on a rookie deal. He could win MVP of this game, right? And, win the Super Bowl and still be like, all right, we're not signing you a new deal. Why would you?
Well,
no, what's
just to
funny
get
is
ahead of
I bet
it,
you,
but, just to get ahead of it, but they wouldn't have to. He's only in year 3 of a rookie deal.
no, but you start trying to rework it now. If you're him,
But I'm
obviously,
just
if you
saying,
did that.
like that is.
you sign him early. You always sign him early because if you
Why?
kick that can down the road a couple years, because then you're gonna have to pay him more. The cap
Yeah.
goes up every year,
Yeah.
man.
What if he does keep getting better? Yeah, and you could have signed him just after one Super Bowl. What if he wins you like 3? Like,
Yeah, I know.
Damn,
I'm just
we coulda
saying,
got him
like
cheap.
they wouldn't. I'm just saying, it's pretty cool to think that they wouldn't have to. Like they'd be like, "Well, see you next year, buddy."
Yeah,
I mean, who really,
it's crazy.
He's on
Speaking
the
of that-
like for a couple more years, for $800,000 as an organization. Though, I mean, like, hey, we can go get better players here. Like we'll pay you in a couple years, but right now we need to maximize our roster potential. Or does that open up a different strategy for GMs? We need to find a late round guy so we can pay him less and
Well,
get the team
Now,
around
look
him.
what the pack. You look at the Packers, man. They always sign they get after the quarterback contracts early. Like signing Jordan Love to that deal they signed him to last offseason
Right.
was genius.
Yep.
Because now you don't have to re-sign him to a monster deal just yet, and that's what you got to do with Purdy is you sign him to because you say, I mean, he's not leading the team, so that's going to have to do with
so
negotiation.
early. It's still so early in the play here. I think obviously things will change after this game.
yeah. So I mean, yeah. If that scenario goes down and San Francisco wins, he wins the Super Bowl. He's the guy that won it for you. And I mean, yeah, dude, that's going to change a lot.
Right,
Just
but
in
you
one-
still would have to pay him.
You wouldn't have to, but you know what? He would also be. You wouldn't be shocked if he's like, you know what? I'm not showing up to camp. Like we ain't gonna talk about my contract. And I'm just.
He won't command $50 million a year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
That's the thing. You say you sign him to a 5-year extension at like 30, 35.
Exactly. He's not going to be out there asking for I want to be the highest paid guy in the league. Like
Which he should be in a couple years if you kick that can down the road 2 years.
Yep.
He's commanding 65
When
at
does
that point.
start though? I mean,
and it's not
Well, I
like they
just
got
think this
history
should pay
of
off,
making good decisions with quarterback picks.
well, I know,
So
but there should
you
be.
got lucky here.
I like it in terms of
Right.
There wasn't
Yeah, it's a neat story.
agents and egos and
No, it was all Brian Greasy.
holdouts and
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
said, John Lynch was going to play golf. He's like, "Hey, Grease, man, you go ahead and take this last pick,
Right.
buddy."
right.
Like,
Okay,
"All right, shit,
well,
I'll take a quarterback.
all right. Well, so we did the prop bets. Now let's do the real thing. Let's pick it. Justin, you are our regular season champ. I'll let you go first. Who you got?
I can't bet against Pat Mahomes, man. He bit me in the ass too many times over the past 2 months when I've been picking against him because he's got nobody there but Taylor Swift's boyfriend. But it seems to work. They've been on a run right now. They're playing a different style of ball than Kansas City or really any Andy Reid team I've ever seen plays.
Yeah, and
This
how's
is a
that?
very different style of ball that they're playing. They're winning with it. And I mean,
Right.
you go on the road, you beat Baltimore. You go on the road, you beat. I mean, I
they're
can't pick
playing a
against
little chip
Mahomes.
on their shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't pick against Mahomes. I got KC winning. They got like 24-20.
Okay. Jimmy?
All right. Pat Mahomes, 2 touchdowns.
By 2.
Yeah. Right. No, I'm just saying he gets 2 touchdowns. Butker, the kicker, 4 field goals. 26 Chiefs. All right. 2 TDs for San Francisco. That's it.
26-14.
Yeah. Couple of misses from Moody, the 3rd round pick.
Otherwise, it would have been closer.
Yeah. Otherwise, you would have had a shot at the end of the
Chiefs,
game if you had missed
14. Damn it.
14. Yeah.
Oh, God. You know, I'm with you. I'm with both of you first.
And I think it's 2014 at halftime, and I think the 6 points are just Kansas City kind of, all right, we'll slow it down and drag it out a little bit. And Moody just does what he does. I mean, he misses clutch kicks. Great draft pick, Jonathan.
I think this one's going to be a pressure cooker. I think this one's going to be a good game, close game. It's going to come down to who doesn't make the mistake.
In a close game, who do you trust? Spagnuolo and Mahomes or Brock Purdy and Shanahan?
I trust Kansas City more in this game. But I'm picking 49ers, baby.
He's going against it.
Give me the Niners. Give me the Niners, man. I think they have a better overall team.
You think Taylor Swift,
I think it's their year.
you think she rips off a Kelsey jersey and is wearing a Kittle jersey underneath?
You
talking that kind of
Give
shock
me
of
the
the
Niners,
century?
man. I'm going to be so wrong on this.
Yeah, you are.
But the bet for Kansas City, though, is money line, and San Francisco. I don't like that Kansas City's favored here. I still think that you got to play the underdog card. I mean, you're playing the champ. To be the champ, you got to beat the champ.
Right. Yeah.
And that's how this Niner team, last time it was Jimmy Garoppolo. I think Brock Purdy's an improvement. I think you had,
he's definitely not going to overthrow.
What was the receiver that he overthrew?
Emmanuel
He overthrew Debo.
Emmanuel Sanders.
Oh, no, it was Emmanuel Sanders.
I like number 11 right now from Baylor. Ayuk, yeah.
Yeah.
I like him better.
I just want him to score because I love the local radio call they do when he scores.
Yeah.
Debo Samuel was not on this team last time they were in the Super Bowl, was he?
Debo?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
He was?
Yeah.
He was young. He wasn't Debo like we know Debo now.
He wasn't Debo, but he was on the team.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the year after the Super Bowl that Debo blew up.
Well, anyway, I think they have a lot. They didn't have Christian McCaffrey.
No, they didn't. They didn't.
And their offensive weapons are the difference. You're going to have everybody looking to stop Christian McCaffrey, and Brock Purdy is going to have the game of his life, and he's going to win the MVP.
There you go. Speak it into existence.
Chris Jones is going to be picking Brock Purdy's ribs out of his face mask.
Yeah.
That guy's he's so good, man. He pass rush from anywhere.
Oh, I'm more worried about Spag in that secondary. Like, if I'm a 49er fan.
Teams?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I think.
That's why
teams are going to be nasty.
This one.
That's why I'm going to be surprised if you see him drop back and throw it a ton.
Right. I think if this will be team or like you trust the impact players a little more, Kansas City, and you should, but I mean, Trent Williams, I mean, that's the best left tackle in the game. It has been for a decade. These are guys, this roster for San Francisco has been knocking at the door. They're here this time. It's now or never.
Yeah.
They're ready to win. And I think they get it done. It's going to be a tough game. You just can't have the 3 turnovers by Brock. You can't have 3 picks.
I'd feel a lot better if they were playing Baltimore. I'm going to be honest with you. I'd feel a lot better about their chances.
I don't know, man. You saw that game already.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They've already played them.
Yeah.
They've already played, and it's not Pat Mahomes.
I like the matchup. For San Francisco. I think they can find the running game and then that play action game Watch out for the fullback. Watch out for the fullback too.
KJ.
Oh yeah. It's going to be a good
I
one.
love the fullbacks coming back in the NFL, by the way.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a couple of them.
Gangsters in the NFL playing fullback, man.
Yeah, it's a tough position.
Yeah, because you got Juszczyk, then you got that 300-pounder in Baltimore, Ricard. And then you got the
dude's a
fullback down in
unit,
Miami
man.
they used a lot.
We had to go.
What's his name? Ingold.
Yeah.
The fullback in Miami has another one. So I'd say bring the fullbacks back, man. I want to see Keith Byers and Larry Centers and those type of guys again.
Yeah.
Bring me back to the 90s, man.
Big old just smashing people in the face.
Yeah, and then catching it out of the backfield, dude. Like Madden 98, you were in trouble playing against me because I was constantly dumping it off to the fullback.
Yep.
Throw it to Rob Conrad.
I'm actually really excited about this game. Also, I'll be trying to make it back home. Got travel, youth sports and stuff. I'll be on the road trying to make it back.
Man, I'd fire that youth sports coach, man.
Nah, man. Well, it's gymnastics. I got gymnastics and then synchronized swimming. So, Olympics here, buddy. No.
sounds super fun, man. You going to a curling event this weekend?
No, not yet. That's next season.
Yeah. Get him in there. Get him in there early, man.
Yeah.
Curling.
So, who's your MVP, Justin?
You know what? What the hell? Travis Kelce.
13 catches.
a buck 30, 2
There you go.
touchdowns.
Right.
My daughter would love that pick.
That's kind of why I'm making that pick.
Yeah. I had a feeling. Jimmy, who's your MVP?
My MVP, go Drew Tranquil, 12 tackles, forced fumble, interception.
The Dexter Jackson game.
Yeah, he doesn't take it back, but it sets up the dagger of the field goal to ice it.
Oh, 4 field goal performance, though. You call that from Buckner.
Yeah.
That's going to be another key. I mean, you drafted this kicker from Michigan in the 3rd round. Don't miss some kicks. I mean, I think whoever doesn't miss kicks or turn it over, whoa, that's smart. Yeah, well.
You never draft a kicker, man.
That's everything I said. Everything I've said is like, oh, he's going to pick Kansas City.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
Not doing it.
Contradiction.
It makes sense, Kansas City, man. Come on.
Yeah, I know. But that doesn't make sense, man. None of it does. But we'll watch it.
I deserve this.
We'll
Let's
watch it,
go,
react
Niners.
to it, and we'll talk to you next time, right here on the North Florida Sports Network.
We had to go. Our ride was here. We got a shuttle to our